It's hard getting up every day and putting your body through a little bit of pain. What's that pain compared to heart disease and your children watching your health fail in front of them? What's that pain coming in here a couple hours throughout the week compared to you can't protect your family? My mother put me into Taekwondo at just a local rec program in the 80s when I was a kid. I think I was 6. I was in first grade when I started. It shaped my whole life. I taught at another martial arts school when I got old enough. I've always been involved in some sort of combat sport or martial art or contact-based martial art. Before I opened the academy, I took about 2 years off. My life got kind of messy at that point. I was hanging out with some negative people, drinking a lot, doing some drugs, just really depressed. I gained a lot of weight. I think my first jiu-jitsu class, I weighed 230 pounds. Really out of shape, really depressed. The massager?
Yeah, like 2 or 3 minutes of that. Good, great. It broke it
I always knew that when I had martial arts in my life, I had more stability and I just felt better about myself and I had structure. You know, I kind of swayed from that when I quit working at the martial arts school that I taught at for many years. I kind of went in reverse. You know, I started, I went from being so straight-laced and so committed to that, and I just took some time off, and I played in a band, and the nightlife. I don't regret any of that because now when young men are having issues with addiction or with depression or not feeling like they're worth anything or anything like that, I know what it's like to feel that way, so I can kind of help them through that. And then, of course, when I opened the school, I had to cut some ties. I lost a lot of friends. But, at the end of the day, it was all worth it. What really led me to training, though, was watching Kenny Florian in season 1 of The Ultimate Fighter. Because at that point, I was a little bit older. I was I think I just turned like 20, 21. And watching Kenny Florian, again, compared to some of the tanks that were on the mats with him. He's the smallest dude there, but his jiu-jitsu was just so technical. And I'll never forget the moment. I saw Kenny Florian finish someone with a mounted triangle watching the UFC, and that was the moment for me. I was like, I gotta learn that. That's just too damn cool to not know what's going on. It was so unfamiliar to me that I was like, I have to know it. I'll never forget the day that I decided to open the school and get back into training. I always had my best friends and my brothers and my parents in my ear, just kind of like, martial arts is probably gonna be your future. My brother and I are a team, and we've always done martial arts together since we were kids. I'm a lot more vocal than my brother. He's very quiet. It was so important to me to have a career that I can do when I'm 60, 70 years old and still have fun. I don't want to do something that's not fulfilling. I didn't want to do something where I hate it. And I've worked a lot of really, really, really crappy, terrible jobs that were not fun. I'm grateful for those opportunities. I look at them as opportunities now because it showed me, bro, you can't do this for the rest of your life. When we opened the school, our main objective was we don't want to see a student get to a certain level and, they can't defend themselves, or they haven't gotten in shape, or they haven't had like some substantial improvement in their life. And again, the thing that drew me to jiu-jitsu is just how hard it was, how challenging it was. When I was in the crazy band days, I got in some fights, and I quickly learned that the grappling experience that I had held a lot more water than the traditional martial arts that I'd studied. And, that was just proof in the pudding right there. Our band we were some wildcats, and we got in fights with bouncers, other bands, random people. I mean, playing in a band in the early 2000s in Baltimore, New York, Philly, you see some things, you get into some trouble. And I'm grateful for those days because it A, showed me that I don't want to be part of that life anymore, and B, how fights really work and how violence can really affect you permanently. I'm not going to do something hard for no reason, where there's no reward at the end just to make my life hard. But the rewards that you reap from jiu-jitsu, from sowing those seeds of hard work, they're worth it.
You got pressure.
I see so many people work jobs into their 50s and 60s into retirement that you spend the majority of your adult life working, whether you like it or not.
Right? Got it. But he might try to be beating me in the scramble because the way that you unwind this, any twisting arm control is by rolling through it. And like if I'm just here, see how he can roll through. He can unravel everything. So he might be trying to do something.
I'm pretty lucky because, I get to wake up every day and wrestle my friends and get a good sweat in. It encourages you to eat healthy, to sleep right. It's hard getting up every day and putting your body through a little bit of pain. What's that pain compared to heart disease and your children watching your health fail in front of them? What's that pain coming in here a couple hours throughout the week compared to you can't protect your family? I don't want people to join from a fear-based place where it's like we're trying to terrify people into the world as this dangerous place, because statistically it's really not. We're living in one of the most peaceful times ever, even with all this craziness going on. I want people to join because they just want to improve their life a little bit. And I do believe that jiu-jitsu is the most powerful vehicle for human self-development on the planet, at least that I found.